Basically, the first start of it is that you need to give it some volume. You don't just want a flat, plain, boring base. I mean, you can, it is easy in terms of an army, but if you want something a bit more interesting, you need to give it a bit of depth and a bit of height. You can use anything. I just happen to have some foam around, so I'm going to use that. So just literally gluing the foam to the base. I'm going to use that massive lump of wood behind just to give it some texture in a second, just to soften some of the edges and sharp corners and things like that. But you can use cork tiles, anything. It doesn't matter whether it looks rocky or base-like at all, because we'll be covering it in later steps. So it is just building up some kind of sort of raised surface. The only consideration is for a graveyard is that you've got to put the headstones in. With foam, that's quite easy. So you can just carve into it and insert the headstones. With other things, might be slightly more difficult, but you can just glue them on. So with these, you just press them in. I don't know where this foam was from. It's just an offcut of fairly hard. It's almost like XPS foam, but not the blue kind. And you just cut away, trim out where you want the headstones to be, and glue them in place. There we go, so that's both headstones in. That's a bit too tall for my liking on the one side, so we'll just cut the one headstone down just to give it a bit more variation, have one broken headstone as well as the freestanding one. So you want to arrange things in a fairly natural way, and when you are gluing to foam, you need to make sure you have foam safe glue, such as this Gorilla Gel Super Glue, which is absolutely fine. Plastic glue will not work, that will melt the foam. Now, this is why it doesn't matter what you use to build the base up with, because this is a mix of PVA glue, sand, and paint, which will be then covering pretty much the entirety of the base with.